I feel good today. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. This is your sports betting brand of record. We like to call it the early edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not even close. All of the odds on the early edge and in the early edge universe are presented by our great partners, the king of all sports books, BetMGM. Yesterday, we hit some. Lost a couple, but buckets undefeated yet again. The counselor correctly calling New Mexico State. And how about Zach Attack on the Suns plus 2.5? By the way, this bugs me when this happens. And Rob King's one of our OGs in the chat. He goes, the Phillies and the Lakers were bad bets here yesterday. No, they were not. Phillies were the play. They lost. Sometimes bets don't hit. It doesn't make them a bad bet. Phillies were the play. The Lakers were the play because the Nuggets had openly talked about celebrating and not working out in the summer. So if you're going to play it, but we told you, scale it back a little bit, that's the play. They're not bad bets. I hate when you do that just because you lose one. All right. Now, with all that getting off my chest, today is a busy, busy day at the brand. If you haven't watched our NFL Mega Preview, it's live in your feed right now. Today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, me, AB, Chip, and my man EC, our Week 9 college football Mega Preview. Can't believe that we're at week number 9. 2 college football games, by the way, tonight, and we will have a pick on them later in the show. So with all the housekeeping out of the way, on a Wednesday, as we like to call Bounce Back Wednesday, I bring in my absolute very best. Here are the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. Oh, look who is here. The counselor is here. The maestro is here. Amags. And from just south of London, England, the guru, Martin W. Green. And counselor, you correctly went undefeated yesterday here on the show, so you get our 15 seconds. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a nice bounce back Wednesday in the sense that, I had a bad Sunday. I hit 2 plays on Monday Night Football, and then I hit the Diego Pavia play yesterday. And what I mean by that is New Mexico State, of course. Listen, these games, and I'm going to have a pick on Wednesday Night Football later in this show. I mean, there is some fruit to be had in some of these games. I really like Diego Pavia and New Mexico State yesterday. They fell down 16-3, but yes, I was worried at that moment. They kind of had some bad luck, but they just came back because it's that type of team. I knew they were going to make that a close game, and they did. They ended up winning outright as plus 2.5 dogs. So really looking forward to the pick I have later today, too. Wednesday Night Football. Let's go.
As are we. By the way, Liberty in the other game last night, they won by 20 as 6-point favorites over Western Kentucky. All right, gentlemen, we got to jump right in because today we've got ourselves a little World Series matchup. And if anybody tries to tell me that they have the Rangers and the D-backs, you're lying. I'm not going to listen to it. But here are the odds to win the whole shebang. Amags, this is your world. This is what you do. Start us off. Who wins, how, why, where? Talk to me.
I think if you're going to bet this, and look, this is not an easy market to bet, in my opinion, trying to hit the on the head. If you're going to do it, maybe throw some smaller bets around on some of the larger numbers. Being swept in the World Series, I don't think it's all that likely, so I'm probably going to stay away from those. So for me, it'd probably be D-backs 4-2, Texas Rangers 4-2. You're going to be somewhere in like the 4-2, 4-3. I think it'll be a pretty close series, maybe much closer than we thought the Phillies and D-backs would as well. So give me the Rangers 4-3 plus 400, just slightly better than the plus 375, but I'm not loving this market.
You literally just gave us 4 bets. You're like, I'd take 4-2. I'd take 4-2. No, give me 4-3. All right, Maestro, make sense out of it all.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's covering his bases, I guess. No, I like the Diamondbacks in this spot, getting 145 to win the World Series. I would bet it in 7 is my preferred outcome in terms of number of games. But, I mean, the bullpen, which was a problem most of the year. I mean, Sewald and Ginkel have not been scored on in the postseason. 17 innings, 24 Ks, and Brandon Pfaadt all of a sudden stepping up, the rookie, a 2.70 ERA in the postseason. And what if Christian Walker gets going to join some of those other guys like Carroll and Marte at the top of the lineup? So I just think the Rangers pitching after the big 2, what do they have? And the bullpen a little shaky as well.
And we know that in the World Series, counselor, the bats don't always show up like in other places. The pressure is just a lot higher. How do you see the World Series?
Well, yeah, when it comes to the what ifs that Maestro just talked about, like what if Max Scherzer is the dude as well? What if he makes his comeback and is at least some semblance of the Max Scherzer that we know and love? I think this is the Rangers. Listen, there's a bunch of recency bias that we have in all of sports, and we had it with the Phillies to some degree. Like when they were up 2-0, it was just a matter of how many games they would win by, whether it would be a sweep or not. We've just come off seeing the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they looked really good. Love the bullpen, love the pitching, love all of that. But they're not as good as the Texas Rangers. So I like the Texas Rangers to kind of roll here. I think 4-1, 4-2 in play. I see Japan 5 and James Murphy say Rangers 4-2. I like that, but honestly, I'm going to raise you right there. I'm all in. Let's go 4-1 Rangers. I like the number there.
Ooh, snap. MLB Sia stepping it up, says 4-1. Amags, your reaction to that?
Like I said, I think it's probably going to be a little bit closer than that, but hey, me and Sia didn't agree on the Vikings, and he took me out on that one for Monday night. So
okay,
he could be right again.
Okay. All right. Well, what about the World Series MVP? Who's going to be the star of stars? The Rangers have a little guy named Garcia, who is right behind his teammate, Corey Seager, who both annihilated the Astros in the American League Championship Series. So, Maestro, why don't we start with you on this one? A lot of good names here, and it basically also depends on who wins usually.
Yeah, with my script of the Diamondbacks pulling it off and going from under 500 to World Series champions, Ketel Marte, I mean, the guy's gotten a hit in every single postseason game, slugging over 600. The OPS is almost at 1,000 right now for the postseason. I'll stick with him to take MVP.
All right, Marte at plus 900. Counselor, I'm coming back to you. What are your thoughts here?
This is a World Series that I think is devoid of some storylines that everybody kind of wanted, especially if you had the Phillies in there. Let's be honest, like the Arizona Diamondbacks, not exactly a big market team. Texas Rangers, I mean, kind of middle of the pack there. What are we looking for here? We're looking for storylines. And I think a guy like Evan Carter, the rookie, the 21-year-old, you said little guy when you opened this segment. He's 6'4", but he's only 190 pounds. He does everything. Like this guy is good in the field. He's going to be playing every single game. Like they're not like from a pitching matchup standpoint, you're going to see him towards the top of the order. Storylines. This guy, if he catches any sort of fire, people are going to be squarely focused on him because he's extremely likable. He's a rookie. He's very good. He's very athletic. Let's remember like the Josh Hamilton vibes we had when he made his comeback. I'm not comparing Evan Carter to him in any way, but you're always kind of looking for that outlier player at plus 1,600. Evan Carter has skills defensively, offensively. I don't mind that play at all.
Boy, now I'm sold on two different players, courtesy of you and the Maestro. All right, Amags, with your boy Buckets 2024 watching in the chat, your thoughts on the MVP?
All right, Coach. I think, look, when you say little guy, Adolis Garcia is probably the furthest thing from a little guy. So I do think, look, plus 600 is not juicy enough. I'm going to bet the MVP of the entire series. So I'll go to Corbin Carroll at plus 1,100. We saw a rookie win it last year, Jeremy Pena. I think a rookie can do it again this year. Carroll, he hit almost 300 in that NLCS. 3 hits last night, starting to heat up. Saw what he did early in the postseason when he got hot. So I think if it's going to be anybody from that side, it'd be him. Or I'll throw this in as a little nugget because I've seen it in the chat. Gabriel Moreno plus 2,500 on BetMGM. He had the highest percent of caught stealing this year. If he throws a bunch of runners out and plays a big role defensively, hits a couple home runs, I think he could be a good pick at plus 2,500.
Look at what my guys just did. 3 different players, 4 different players, which tells you how wide open this series is. I'm going to go with Garcia, and if you're looking for a home run prop, he's hit what, Counselor, the last 4 games, he's hit a home run for the Texas Rangers in that series. He's a monster. Absolute monster. All right. There's also monsters in the National Football League, and it's a pivotal week. Draw a line in the sand when you get to week 8, NFL CBS.
We can't wait for a showdown in the Steel City. Let's go! And an epic matchup out west. All hail Sunday. The NFL is on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Did they just say showdown in that?
Yes. That's all I could think about.
Right?
Yes.
They're all just stealing our stuff. It's okay. Hey, marketing department, take all of it. Take all of it. All right. Now, we can never forget our good friends on the pitch, our good friends that make up everything soccer. I told you, any questions for Buckets, put them in the chat. He will answer them in real time. But we've got the guru live and in person. And today, Champions League, 8 different games, 2 at 12:45 Eastern, 6 at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Where? Live on Paramount Plus. Synergy. Now, Guru, here's what we're looking at. Lazio, that's one of the 12:45 games. AC Milan against PSG. And Dortmund, big-time underdogs to Newcastle, who has been on fire. Which dog are we going with today?
Yeah, I think there's a reason that these 3 teams are all big underdogs, Coach. Can't see Borussia Dortmund getting anything at Newcastle, but could see both teams scoring in that one. AC Milan, I think, will struggle in Paris. I actually like PSG to win that game. So of the 3, it has to be Lazio. Very difficult game to go to the Dutch champions, Feyenoord, take them on in Rotterdam. Could see them maybe getting a result. So Lazio draw no bet might be quite a good option. Perhaps both teams to score an over 2.5 goals would be a good play in that Feyenoord Lazio game. But yeah, Lazio of the 3.
You know, Martin, as a fellow next level soccer capper, I too had my eye on the Lazio matchup today, but I was going to go with the total over 2.5.
Yeah.
Would you like that play? Over 2.5?
Like a great play, yeah. And if you want a bit more value, maybe both teams to score and over 2.5 goals is a little same game parlay, because I think could see goals in that one.
I love that play. Amags, see how fellow cappers do it together. We work together instead of you and Sia just always butting heads. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. All right. Not really. I'm here for every single second of it. Now, where are you going to place all these amazing bets? Well, I can tell you. Right now, we are signing up hundreds, literally by the day. Thank you so very much. But new BetMGM customers can sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in bonus bets, regardless of your wager's outcome, with bonus code EDGE200. That is bonus code EDGE200. Now, this show is called The Early Edge for a reason. We're trying to get ahead of the number. That's why sometimes we'll give out plays a day, 2 days, sometimes 3 days early. So, Amags, I'm coming to you, big boy. You're starting our board today because we just had a great discussion about the World Series, but I need some plays. Start us off.
Yeah, it was a great discussion, and I think we can kind of go back to the well here with something that we did in the last series with the NLCS. Look, if you follow me on Twitter, we played Phillies to win Game 1 and the series at plus 110 after their Game 1 win. When we secured that first half of that bet, it went to plus 275 for the D-backs to win the series. So I actually ended up throwing a half unit on that side after a unit on the Phillies side. And I think we can do something very similar here with the Texas Rangers to win Game 1 and to win the series at plus 135. Look, maybe I should turn the hat around for this take because I do think that the Texas Rangers are the better team here, as Sia said. And while it probably is going to be a little bit closer than some people think, I think that the Texas Rangers, if they pull it out, it's going to be partially because they got an early win or 2 at home. And I see it being in Game 1. Look, minus 165 on the money line for Game 1, minus 170 or worse to win the series for the Rangers. I think that the plus 135, even if you do the odds out, it seems a little bit light. These are correlated plays. So the plus 135, to me, I see value there. I think they have the 3 better starters. The matchup for me is important. And you get the 2 better starters for the D-backs, both on the road where they were worse this year, both ERAs over 4. So I'll take this little bet. And as I said, if the Rangers win Game 1, just throw a little bit on the other side and you should have profit away.
Get creative, ladies and gentlemen. Get creative. And I'll ask you a question after that incredible take from my man Amags. Do you want to do the work? I didn't think so. Amags, solid start. Solid start. Now, Guru, they're asking me, PSG, AC Milan under 2.5 from Reed. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Most AC Milan games do go under the 2.5 goal mark. My favourite one for that just has to be a PSG money line. I know they look very poor against Newcastle in the last game, but they're traditionally a lot stronger in Paris. And I think Mbappe could just have too much pace for that AC Milan defence.
Kylian Mbappe, if you are unfamiliar or new to the soccer world, perhaps the best player in the world right now. He's incredible. He plays for PSG. All right, now, your board today. And as I'm looking at it, I'll be honest with you. I also like these two, all kidding aside. I love what you're giving out today. You're up.
Oh, thank you very much, Coach. And I am starting in Glasgow, Celtic versus Atletico Madrid. Atletico are top of their Champions League group, and they're also on fire in La Liga. So I think they should really be full of confidence right now. They've won 6 consecutive games in all competitions, including a 3-1 win against Real Madrid. I think they should outclass Celtic today. The Hoops are bottom of this group. They've already lost to Feyenoord and Lazio in their first 2 games. They dominate clubs in their domestic league in Scotland, but they really lack the quality to compete with Europe's elite in the Champions League. So I think odds of -105 on Atletico Madrid at BetMGM just look really attractive. So that's my first pick. And I'm also going for another away win in Belgium. I'm going for Porto on the money line at +110. Antwerp have made a disastrous start to the Champions League group stage. They lost 5-0 to Barcelona and 3-2 to Shakhtar Donetsk. Really bad result against Shakhtar Donetsk when you consider all the problems in Ukraine right now. They're not exactly setting the world alight in the Belgian Pro League either. 4 wins from 11 games thus far, 8 points behind the league leaders there. I think they could struggle when Porto roll into town this week. Porto have talented players in every department. They're going strong in Portugal, so going for another away win at +110.
I absolutely love it. I told you, both of those plays, get them in right now because they're only going to go up. Love those 2 plays today. Again, all 8 games on Paramount Plus. Also on Paramount Plus and the CBS Sports Network and the CBS Sports app. Oh, a busy, busy weekend in college football.
Saturday starts big, then SEC rivals clash. First at noon, the Hoosiers visit Happy Valley to take on the Nittany Lions. Then, will the Gators take a chomp out of top dog Georgia's march toward history? Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Really, how good is Georgia? I think we need to start finding out as we're getting into the meat of the schedule, who's going to qualify for the playoffs, all of that. Now, the flip side, the NBA, just getting started. This is day number 2. Looky, looky, looky. Who's in the chat? Mackenzie Brooks. You talk about a diamond in the rough. You talk about a next big star. That's who she is. Now, you want NBA narratives? You got, give me everything NBA. Today, 1 p.m. Eastern time, Inside the Lines, NBA betting narrative. She's the host. She brings in a litany of different guests, really digging much, much deeper than what we do here on the Early Edge. But they're a great, great show. They're just starting off, so let's promote and support them as well. Now, Sia Nejad, as I come to you, last night, I call that sweat-free. A win by 3, that's sweat-free. But tonight, 2 more big games, and you have a play in one of them. Talk to me.
Yeah, we're going to fade FIU. I've got Jacksonville State -7.5 here. Now, what's really interesting about this play, and it shouldn't really surprise anybody, I put this on the SportsLine app yesterday. It's already 8.5 everywhere. Let's see, BetMGM, some of the other major big books, it's already at 8.5. I still like it at that number, but just a little plug for just being a member of SportsLine. There is a difference here between 7.5 and 8.5. So just, again, if you're not a member, you're not going to necessarily get these numbers early. Either way, Jacksonville State -7.5, -8, -8.5. I do like it. And it's because FIU is not a very good team. They've lost 3 or 4. The one win they had was against Sam Houston, who, by the way, is winless, 0-7. Maybe they get their first win today. But the thing about FIU is they can't stop the run. And that's exactly what Jacksonville State does, particularly with their dual threat quarterback, Zion Webb. This is a guy that if he sees an alley on a pass play, he's just going to run, and he does it very, very well. I think over 4 quarters, this FIU team just ends up wilting and submitting to the running game. We see it a lot in these games, these Tuesday, Wednesday night games with these teams, the CUSA teams or Sunbelt or whatever it is. They end up, like, the better team ends up becoming victorious, particularly in the second half. They just put their imprint on the game. I think that's exactly what Jacksonville State's going to do here. I expect them to win by 10 or more.
I tell you what, I've really enjoyed having this conference play in October, but we all know what's coming in November, don't we? What's coming in November, Amags? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know?
I don't know.
Maestro, what's coming in November for college football during the week, please?
You know what? I'm going to turn that over to the counselor.
Counselor, what's coming in November midweek college football?
I have no idea, Coach.
Give it to Martin.
Go to Martin.
Martin, do you know what's coming November midweek Tuesday and Wednesday? Are you guys kidding me right now?
Put picks, expert picks from experts. Expert things.
The answer. Actually correct.
Let's all say it with me. Let's spell it out. Thank you, Snake. Thank you, Snake. Maction. Every November, it's the MAC. It's Miami. It's Toledo. Counselor, that's embarrassing for you.
Well, we don't. But here's the thing. Maction is old news. We don't need Maction when we have Conference USA, when we have Jacksonville State and FIU and New Mexico State and Liberty. I don't care about Maction. Fine, it's football either way. But listen, Maction, that's yesterday's news, my friend.
What is wrong with you? Oh my, I thought I knew you. I've got to completely reevaluate our relationship. The whole thing. I'll put a pin in that. That hurt my heart. But I need to tell you this, because everybody, I got so many tweets yesterday. Coach, what about the NBA? What about the NBA? Well, guess what? I just looked at SportsLine. And as the counselor just said, if you're not a member, what are you doing? There are 12 games today. Already this early, there are picks in 8 of them if you're a SportsLine member. But if you're not, I'm going to do you a solid right here, right now. 60% off the quarterly plan. That's 3 months. After that, we're already into February. NBA, baseball right around the corner. There is the QR code, or go to sportsline.com/join and be a part of what we are building fast and furious. And who knows? Maybe I'll find a new capper in the chat who knows what Maction is and can join the show.
There's a lot of Maction fans in the chat, and they're like really triggered by what I just said.
I'm triggered by what you just said.
I get it.
All right, Maestro, I can always count on you to bring us right back to where we need to be, whether it is a football prop or the first NBA prop on the show. You're up.
Yeah, starting with the NBA, and I'll also point out, in addition to the dozen expert picks that are already up for tonight's games, the A-rated picks for NBA have been consistently good for several years now. So check those out. There are a couple of A picks last time I checked this site, which was just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to Scotty Barnes for the Raptors. There's no Fred VanVleet. He is gone. It's him and Pascal Siakam. The new coach says we are building around Scotty Barnes, and why wouldn't you? Rookie of the year, another great year last year, tweaked his ankle in the final preseason game, which was a little bit of a worry, but he's practicing in full. He should be good to go there at home against the Timberwolves. This guy is going to score. He's going to make plays for others. He's going to rebound. We know he's going to play amazing defense, but he's going to play big minutes. And I just think the Raptors, they're building around this guy. I'm going over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which is basically what his averages were last year when you had Fred VanVleet taking a lot of shots and making a lot of plays, and he is gone. Then to the NFL, this number, I believe, is going to fall as we get closer to kickoff. Rachaad White, under 48.5 rushing yards, right now minus 110 at BetMGM. We know he's terribly inefficient, 3.2 yards a carry, 13 carries for 34 yards last week. The Bills, we know you can run on them, but they do get Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle, back in the lineup for Thursday Night Football. The game script figures to be trailing, needing to throw. And the running game is so poor, they're talking about we need to come out throwing. Baker Mayfield said that. Chase Edmonds also could be activated for this game. He's practicing in full. You remember the Buccaneers added him. He got hurt in week 2. They're willing to try anyone because Rachaad White is not working as a runner. Keyshawn Vaughn is not working. Rachaad White is a good receiver. I think they get him some catches out of the backfield, but he stays under the rushing number.
Love both of those takes. Real quick, how high would you play the Scotty Barnes up to, Maestro?
That's where it is. I'm not going higher than 26.5, and I wouldn't pay more juice than minus 130.
Okay, there you go. There you go. You ask a question every now and then, we will answer it. By the way, keep an eye on Ben Horner. We've had him here on the show. You guys are always asking about hockey plays. He already put a couple into the chat. I've got my eye on Ben. He did really, really well, hit a couple of plays, and he's consistently in there giving you hockey plays. So check him out because I'm actively watching him maybe. And we also have a lot of new hockey plays at SportsLine. We just hired a new guy there too. So just because we don't always have it here on the show dig a little deeper. We got plenty of hockey for you hockey fans as well. Do not forget, later today, 3 p.m. Eastern time, the college football mega preview. Me, AB, Chip, and EC. But in the meantime, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of my man, the Snake, always on the ones and the twos. Sia Nejad, the counselor, Jacksonville State, -7.5, -115. Then Amags, this little same game parlay in a different way. The Rangers to win game one and then win the series. You get that at +135. The key is winning that first game. Then the Maestro, he's on Scotty Barnes over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And he says that's exactly where he would play it. Remember, it's the first game for a lot of these teams. Be careful. You just don't know technically what you're going to get. Rashad White, under 48.5 rush yards, -110. Then, today in the Champions League, from the guru himself, Atletico Madrid. They've really been in form lately, -105. Then Porto, sneaky in form as well. You're getting this number at +110. Great numbers for two teams that have been absolutely on fire. Busy day, busy week. This is exactly what we want. Do not forget, this coming Monday, what do they call that? When all four leagues are playing on the same day? The equinox, right? Isn't that what they call
Maction. Is that right, Coach?
I don't believe it was, but apropos. So all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, love them all. Guru, counselor, maestro, and my man with the hat on backwards, Amags. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. Never forget about Snake, always making the show and the brand look like $1,000,000. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about. Have a great day. Pay it forward. Right here. Early edge. Good luck.